Alright fellas, what's going on? Denonu here, the man with black privilege. And we're going to be talking about Street Fighter V and just basically my impressions on it. After playing it for like 1 or 2 weeks. I didn't want to do it right when the game first came out because I was unfamiliar with the characters. I never, didn't know none of the special moves or anything like that. But also, I just want to apologize up front. As you guys can probably hear, my voice is complete shit right now. My voice has been hoarse for like the past 3 or 4 days, and that's why I haven't been uploading regularly. And the videos that you guys have been seeing, I had already made those scheduled from before, so I haven't recorded anything new within the past week. But being one to, not take a break over some bullshit, and, I'm going to persevere and struggle even though my throat hurts like a bitch, but it is what it is. Street Fighter V. Let's see. First off, right out the gate, I'm not a fan of how they released the game. It almost feels like a demo, really. I'm not a fan of that. The game seems like I'm going to be doing a lot of comparison to Street Fighter 4 and making a lot of assumptions about that, just to let you guys know. But I haven't really played Street Fighter 4. I only played it for like a few weeks, even though I haven't. I never popped it in and played it long term, so some of my assumptions may be wrong. But it seems like in this game, it seems like they have less characters than Street Fighter 4, because I remember the character selection screen being a little bit different and having a little bit more rows to it, but I could be wrong. Also, wasn't a fan of how they released the game with no arcade mode. No arcade mode, no versus CPU, no, it's no offline game modes, really. It seems like they only really had online. Like, that's all you had was online survival and training and the character intro things, because I can't call that a story. That wasn't a story in my book, and that seems like that's all they had. Now, after initially playing it, the first time after initially popping it in, I did some research off camera, and I found out that they were supposed to release all of this stuff in the next coming months. I think around June is when they were supposed to release that stuff, like the arcade mode, the cinematic story, things like that. And that's cool and all, I can understand that, but I can only see this game's release as being a business move. And I don't know why they would choose to do that. I mean, it seems like, why would you want negative feedback for your game? It's like, maybe they wanted to get the game out. I don't know when Evo takes place, but I know that's like the big fighting game tournament. Maybe they wanted to get a workable game out by Evo. I mean, like if let's say Evo was next month and they knew they were gonna, get that, be ready by June. Maybe they wanted a working build for fighting online and all that kind of stuff for Evo. But to me, that kind of makes no sense, because why would you release a game? I mean, the world, everybody who plays Street Fighter don't play in Evo. You know what I'm saying? And if I was a business, I would just have 2 versions of the game. Like if I was Capcom making decisions, if it were me, Evo's coming out, right? We want to get a working build for Evo. How about you just make a game specifically for Evo? I'm not saying make a full-fledged game, that's not what I'm saying, but just you have an Evo build, and just give that to them, but still keep your overall, game release of Street Fighter V until June. Why not do that? That way Evo can just have just the fighting game stuff in it, like the tournament modes and online fighting, just like that, and have nothing else. No arcade mode, no story, no practice, none of that stuff, right? And then you save all of the normal stuff for when the game is actually ready, so you can release it. Because it seems to me like the way they released it, it's like, okay, you're releasing a game that's streamed down, so now this game has all these negative reviews and about how it's like it's almost like they want to get hated on. you know, but maybe they have their own internal reasons and stuff, man. I mean, who am I to assume otherwise? But other stuff I really didn't like about the game. The game seems to be different. I don't know why. Maybe they wanted a more balanced version. Maybe they wanted a more structured, balanced version of Street Fighter. But when you play it, players don't play the same. All of their special moves are different. It just feels, you know, it doesn't feel like, I mean, because I'm like, even though I play Street Fighter 4, it doesn't really play like Street Fighter 4. It plays similar to it, but you can tell like the underlying mechanics are different. I know they added in a few new battle mechanics, which are cool. I'll get into that a little bit later, but they also changed up how certain characters do their specials and stuff. Now, like I said, I didn't play Street Fighter 4 a whole lot. I didn't go through like every character and things like that, but I know with this game I did. I luckily was lucky enough to get my brother to come over, and you know, for those of you who've seen my other videos where I mentioned my brothers and stuff and growing up with fighting games, is we used to play them all the time as kids. And nowadays I don't really do that much anymore. But luckily I was able to get him to come over, and we played like 6 hours of Street Fighter 5. And we went through like all the different characters and was trying special moves and all that kind of sort of stuff, trying to get a feel for which characters we like best. And when it comes to special moves, like I said before, they changed them for some weird reason. Like, it seems like the majority of the characters who had charge motions, or let's say the motions that they've had for the past 20-something years, I don't know if they were like this in Street Fighter 4, because like I said, I didn't go through everybody, but in this one, they changed them up completely. Like, Chun-Li's lightning kick, you couldn't just mash the button to do it. You had to do like a Hadouken motion in order to do it. They took out Bison's Psycho Crusher and made that, I guess, his special rather than just his move that he can do. And they did that with like every character, and every character only had like 3 or 4 moves. You know, like I don't remember I don't remember Street Fighter being like Mortal Kombat where you have tons and tons of special moves, but I could have swore in the like Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter 3, you know, all of the other Street Fighters that came, let's say, after or before Street Fighter 4, I remember you having more than, let's say, 3 or 4 special moves. You know, you would have at least like 5 or 6 in addition to your supers and stuff, and everybody had like 2 supers. You know, like Ryu would have the Hadouken one, he would have the kick one. Whereas in this, it seems like most of the characters have like 3 special moves, and some of them aren't even like special moves. It'll be like a different type of throw, or a certain dodge mechanic or something. Like, it's not, everybody doesn't have, it's not special moves really. Some characters have all special moves, but then other characters don't. And I can understand maybe they wanted to balance the game a particular kind of way, so maybe they wanted certain characters to be a certain way, but maybe they haven't patched in a whole hell of a lot to fix things, because I know I started my game up and I don't remember it patching since it came out. So I'm assuming Steam automatically does that. I know I'm not that familiar with it, but I know that my game didn't patch itself. So I mean, I'm assuming this is the same build that since it came, you know, since it released, because I know I was playing it a couple days ago. But maybe they wanted a specific kind of game, and it just feels different. Being somebody who, let's say, it was in the Street Fighter back in the day, buying this one, it's not the same beast it once was. I'm not saying that it's bad, but it feels off. Like, there's a lot about the game I like. But excuse me. But it just seems off, YouTube. It really does. Like, you have the one mechanic, I forget what they call it, V-trigger, where you can mash like the punch and the kick button, and you'll either get like a stun move, or, you know, power up your punches, or that kind of sort of thing, right? It's a cool mechanic to have, but to me it just seems broken as all hell. like I was playing with my brother, right? My favorite character in the game is I think her name is Laura, the Brazilian chick. And I was fighting my brother, and I would specifically use V-trigger to break through certain moves so I can hit him and get the kill on him several matches in a row. And it's almost exploitable, you know. It's weird. Maybe I'm not thinking about the V-trigger, because I know that's another separate thing, because you got like V-triggers and V-skill, but I could be getting the names mixed up. But it's the one where you, like, you know, can break through moves. Like, you can power yourself up and then do, let's say, like an Hadouken, or do a certain grapple attack, and normally when a character would hit you, it would knock you out of that animation, so you would just take damage. But with that power up activated, you can eat the hit and keep going, and then still get the move off on your opponent. And I just find that to be so exploitable, because it's so easy to do, and it's kind of, and everybody has it, you know. I know if everybody has it, it's, you know, it's not like game breaking or anything like that, but it just seems, I'm not going to say overpowered, but it seems very, very cheap to me. And, you know, maybe that's just me and how I feel, but maybe I'm the only guy, but it seems like they did change a whole lot of the game, and I don't really understand why they released it this bare bones. You know, I really don't. It just seems like, from a money standpoint, like, don't you want to get the most positive opinion about your game? But I don't know. However, things I did like about the game: the graphics look good. I'll say that. They remind me of Street Fighter 4. I've never been a fan of the new graphics of like Street Fighter 4. And I know these are like a spin-off from it, so I'm not going to say they're not the greatest thing in the world, but they're okay. They're serviceable. I'm not knocking the game because it looks like that. I think the backgrounds could use some work, though, like the stages. If you ever look at things in the background, your character models will look good, but the things in the background, some of them look very, very flat, and, you know, they could have did a whole lot much better when it comes to the backgrounds. I know certain fighting games, the background is almost just as entertaining as the actual fight, and whereas in at least this version of Street Fighter, it seems like they just only really focused on the characters, really, and just the stages were, you know, it's like they had to put something there, you know. Nothing really stands out, really. No stage to me seems like, you know, I don't have a favorite stage in the game, really. They just all are, you know, all are just there. If anything, I think it's the one stage I like is Kenzuki Estate or something, but it's like the one Japanese level where you have ninjas on the ceilings and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. But music is cool. I like certain of the characters' redesigns. Ken, I like his. I like the fact that they try to make at least the similar characters different. Like, as in the older Street Fighter games, Ken was pretty much just like Ryu, just had a different couple moves and stuff like that, but for the most part, he was the same, you know, Shotokan type character. And then in this one, it seems like they tried to do a complete overhaul of his character, where, like, he's similar, but he plays different. So I'm liking those kind of changes, because I think that they should feel different. However, I'm not feeling the way that they changed the moves. I know he still has the Hadouken, it still has the kick, but I mean, for like everybody else, like Bison, Chun-Li, things like that, how you just completely remove moves and even change up the moves and how to do them, you know, like they have, and I'm just not a fan of that at all. But overall, the thing that I'm most a fan for with the game is just the way that the mechanics are. Besides like the V-triggers and stuff, like I think if they'd have took that out and put in some kind of counter system, let's say like DOA has, I think it'd probably be better, but I would change the DOA. I'm just using that as a reference. I wouldn't want that counter system in Street Fighter, but if there was a way to where you can counter somebody's move and, you know, do a move of your own and stuff like that, I think that would be cool, rather than just having just the V-triggers that just power you up and allow you to take take attacks and still hit somebody, you know, because even if somebody's doing their own thing, when somebody doesn't, if somebody is on their game and they're just whooping your ass and you can't do nothing about it, and you activate your V trigger, and let's say your energy is like neck and neck, and one of y'all get the next hit, and you know, and whoever takes the next hit is gonna lose. He could be dominating you in the whole match and have so much more skill than you. You could just activate your V trigger and just take that hit. You know, let's say he comes in with like a dragon punch or something. You can just go in, take the hit, and then still hit him and kill him. So that's what I mean. It's way too cheesy, you know. And in a game, if you're trying to balance everything, then you don't need to have that kind of, you know, mechanic. I mean, because then you're unbalancing the game, you know. But I don't know. I'm not a game designer and I don't work for Capcom, so maybe they know what they're doing. But anyways, guys, those are just my initial thoughts on, you know, on the Street Fighter 5. I may make some videos, some more talking about it once I continue to play through it. I know I've been playing the online a lot recently, and it just seems that, I mean, I don't know if I'm playing ranked or not. I know every time I go on there, I search, you know, the game, and I have yet to play in some ranked matches, but I know from the unranked matches, people seem kind of weak, you know, so I don't know, maybe I'm just a super beast, but I doubt it. But anyway, guys, sorry for rambling on. My name is Denonu, the man with black privilege, and I'll see you guys in the next commentary video. Peace out.